Hey everyone, it's Haley. So for this week, we had a presentation to do. And for this art presentation, we were assigned to do a critique on a famous artwork of our choice. So the choice that I chose to do and research was called Quarter in the Asylum, and the artist is Vincent van Gogh, and it was created in 1889. So for the Quarter in the Asylum, it is an art piece that basically displays a really large quarter area with a hallway that's really stretched out and long, and there's also an outline of an individual in the piece. It looks like it's a man. It may be Vincent himself or just another resident who was there while he was staying there, or maybe even someone he imagined. We're not too sure on that part. But for the art movement that this piece belonged to was a post-impressionism, and that was during the late 1880s. So as I mentioned, he created this art piece in 1889, so it was during this art movement and it was pretty early to it. So for the post-impressionism, many independent artists fixed their style on expressing emotions as well as themes around deep symbolism. So this was seen in a lot of art pieces as they put a lot of different pieces that had a deeper meaning to it as well, and also showed what the artist was feeling or thinking while they created it, which is something Vincent van Gogh really used a lot, not only this art piece but a lot of his other ones as well. And for the Quarter in the Asylum, it can specifically be seen through simple colors and definitive forms, and those are just some of the things he used as well as in his other art pieces as well. So for this form of artwork, it was a drawing that he had done, and the medium of the drawing was using oil colors. And while researching it, I also found out that he used black chalk on pink laid paper. So I'm guessing that was a way to like transfer the art piece, or I guess as well as make it look more I guess kind of like a pop, like really to show his artwork and the drawing that he was doing. And I also mentioned how I had a light variety of colors, which included reds, greens, and yellows. So that really helped to bring life to the picture as well, which I found was really interesting considering that it was a corridor as well as the location that it was at, that he would choose those colors. But as mentioned before, the symbolism, those colors have like a deeper meaning as well as the feelings that are represented with them that he may have been feeling or thought about. So also, with the shape of the hallway and how long it was, there was repeated lines that he had used as well, and this helped to elongate the hallway as well as create depth to the art as well. And with this depth that was created, it affected the perspective on the individual who was viewing it. So like for me, looking at the art piece, you saw like how long it was, and it really gave like a really good imagery of what Vincent lived in and what he saw every day of his life. But also I feel like using those lines was a way for him to I wouldn't say not dramatize, if that's a correct term, but like it really provided effect with what he was going for, which can be seen in other pieces of his artwork as well. So with researching this piece, I was able to research it through the Met website. They had a lot of good information about the piece as well as Van Gogh himself. They provided a lot of history. So I had learned that Van Gogh had created this piece of art to show what the asylum he was staying at looked like. And the asylum that he stayed at was called Saint Paul de Mazol. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it is located in Saint Remy. He spent a year here towards the end of his life to be confined, and this asylum was a psychiatric health institution, and it was for individuals who were mentally unwell. And I also feel like mentally unwell back then in the 1800s could be so far as different from now to like 2020 that we're going to be in pretty soon, also due to like more increase in research in the psychiatric field as well. So that's just like something to think about, and there can be more research done with that as well. And during his stay, he also created a lot of other art pieces. Others were like Starry Night and Wheat Field with Cypress. So art therapy was something that was really big there and that he used, and I guess you could say inspired him as well to create these really famous pieces of art. And Van Gogh had sent this specific drawing to his brother Theo, a Quarter in the Asylum. He did this to provide imagery of his everyday view, but it's also interesting that I learned that Theo was the one who would provide him with supplies to paint and draw, so he really kept him I guess active, like he kept him doing activities. And I'm sure that like Van Gogh really loved creating art, so it was something to help regulate his everyday activities, because I can imagine staying in the asylum it would be just like a same routine. So that really helped for him to express himself, as mentioned before. So originally, Van Gogh was taken into this psychiatric institution after his episode of cutting his own ear off. However, there have been other theories of Van Gogh having a variety of mental illnesses. They vary from psychosis, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and borderline personality disorder, and like many more people have had theories on. But there really wasn't like a definitive, definitive like diagnosis. There was just, I guess you could say, rumors, but he did get taken off after his episode of cutting off his own ear. So once he was in there, he created more artwork and expressed himself. So in conclusion, I believe this artwork is important in my own opinion, as well as to the history of the art world, as it has a really deep symbolism of human behavior, as well as showing an individual's perspective to their own reality. And I believe that it shows the way Van Gogh viewed his own psychiatric health institution in a super far different way than like many other individuals and artists would have likely viewed it. People have like a lot of different perspectives, and he really lived there for such a long period of time. He depicted it and painted it and drew it the way he saw it every day of his life, waking up and going to sleep there. And to me, I believe he seemed to have found peace there, and he definitely depicted that in his art. So that's my presentation of my critique of a famous artwork that I chose.